binary event stuff is like it's okay, you know, but you're still better off in a growth sector that's actually going somewhere. Biotech's just sort of a dead sector. It's a bit of a waste of time, honestly. Smoking decreases the risk of sarcoidosis. Very odd, but true. Gives a bit of a hint at the pathogenesis of that disease. I don't know if Opendoor is legit or not. I guess I can find out. Everybody wants to know, right? Okay, so this is how I would analyze any stock using my own system. Wow, 703. Yeah, it's definitely overvalued. I mean, so many people have asked me about Opendoor. Finally, you know, I'm gonna spend a little time on it just to sort of see what it's all about. Positive cash flow. Okay. I see you. That's intriguing. Why does cash flow swing so much when net income is just steadily negative? Let's find out. Yeah, that's odd. This is going to require like a full workup, I think. Yeah, I'd sell calls to the right for the right premium. It's got pretty high vol right now, so I'd have to be getting paid the right amount. That's why I don't really like to mess around too much with options for that reason. Like, I don't know what the right vol is. Did I forget to convert over here? I think I did. It's hard to make accounting too interesting. That's why none of the other streamers do it. Because it's the hard work, it's the real work of investing. You have to troll through these papers, man. If you're watching somebody that isn't going through numbers all day, they're not really doing finance. They're really just trying to entertain you. If you don't understand what I'm doing, then don't invest. Go to another stream. This isn't for you, dog. You never were nobody, you're never gonna be nobody. Just go to another stream, man. It's over for you. Well, you know, 𝗕𝗢𝗄𝗃 has guys who work hard. I mean, it's not like she's, you know. And Dana Ives probably works hard, you know, but yeah, television. Okay, so they had negative 279 cash flow in Q1, but they sprung to a positive cash flow very oddly. I don't want to figure out how. I think it's the value of the real estate or something like that, but I really want to understand that. You know, it's serious because I'm actually doing the working capital section of cash flow from operations, which I almost never do. That's when you know it's serious accounting. Yeah. It's one of these stocks I know I'm going to end up short. Good, Donald, you got to go. Go to another channel. You're done. Investing isn't for everybody. It's most definitely not for you. Oh wow, their real estate inventory plummeted, so they sold all their real estate inventory, but they didn't re-up on debt. That's what happened. Investing is the most boring thing in the world. If it's exciting to you, you're doing it wrong. It's about tediously going through thousands of stocks to add one to your portfolio. Does that sound fun? Huh? You're thinking of casino. Yeah, you in the wrong place. Go watch Trainwrecks, Drake, Corinna Kopf. They'll teach you how to gamble. It's great. You're gonna love it. There we go. Okay, so yeah, as you guys can see here, zoom in on this chat. They sold $800 million of their real estate, okay, in Q2. See that? Now, where did that cash go? Well, you see that dropped here. Real estate dropped by 832. So it's very clean. They sold 805 of their real estate. So real estate dropped by, this is the balance sheet, 832, okay? So what else happened? Well, debt got reduced by 333. Where'd the rest of the cash go? Well, cash got increased by 482. So you can see they sold 832. 482 of that showed up in cash. And the rest is 350, which reduced the debt. So they're just selling off their real estate holdings, which doesn't change their net cash position. But that's the so-called cash flow from operations. Bro, that's not cash flow from operations, right? That's fake. How's that cash flow from operations? count that as cash flow from operations. They're borrowing money, buying real estate, and then selling it. That's their business. They don't really make much margin on that. So anybody looking at the cash flow number, getting excited, it's not really real cash flow. Yeah, they're ratcheting down their balance sheet. So they have to buy more inventory, right? I mean, what's the plan here? I have to listen to a conference call or a transcript or something. Argentina drops 13%. Oof. Okay, let's read the 10K. We are the largest digital platform for residential real estate transactions. Okay, in 2014, we founded Opendoor to reinvent one of life's most important transactions and make it possible to buy, sell, and move at the tap of a button. I don't know if that's the goal. It sounds more dangerous than anything. By leveraging software, data science, product design, and operations, we are building a tech platform for residential real estate that offers buyers and sellers a digital on-demand experience that we believe will be the future of how people buy or sell a home. 4 million homes were sold in 2024, 1.7 trillion in transactions. In 2024, we sold 13,500 homes. Well, that's not too many out of the 4 million a year. It's kind of interesting. That's, I think, a good thing. But the revenue is weird. I'm not sure they should be counting the home sale revenue. But if they're actually buying the home, I guess so. It's kind of like Uber, right? They've launched in Phoenix and they expanded and operate in 50 markets. They're like specific cities, not 50 states. They can sell their home directly to us and we resell the home to a home buyer. List with Opendoor or the Opendoor marketplace. See if they break out that revenue at all. Okay, here's, wow, this is unbelievable. 2022 revenue was 15 billion. So I guess their experiment didn't work very well. They were once a successful or more successful company. Is anyone bullish? What's the bull thesis? Yeah, baby's great. Getting enough sleep. I think I am, I don't know. Does anybody know the bull thesis here? How are rates cuts gonna help them? Yeah, I don't see that helping them. Growth story. Nice troll. Growth story. Growth story. I like this guy, Money Mastery. Martin, your ATYR short is gonna fail. Why, when I put your opinions on AI, it tells me that you don't know what you're talking about? Do you know more medicine than AI itself? LOL, question mark. This should go in the Louvre. Congratulations. You deserve it. You earned it. It's beautiful. Can we get this framed? Can one of you guys frame this for me, please? I need the best way to frame this because it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, I'm gonna cry. Real art brings a tear to your eyes, you know? I mean, I like AI. The problem is it's kind of one of these things where you have to, the data you put in and the data you get out are pretty correlated. You have to be smart about what you put in there. Yeah, if you prompt it intelligently, you might be able to get some interesting insights, but I'm pretty sure I can prompt Chatgpt to tell me that I'm 100% right. I did this once with cassava. That was a really interesting, really insightful. I really like anybody to explain to me how the drug works, the ATYR drug works. That'd be fun. Okay, so in their peak year, they lost 850 million at least on Gap. At least on Gap. Gap net income, we hate it. Where's the EBITDA? They had negative EBITDA too that year, which is really wild. They had 15 billion. 15 billion in revenue. And their gross margin was 4%. 4%, not a lot. Not a lot. 4%. That's a good gross margin. You can do a lot with 4%. Especially if it's a capital-intensive business, you want 4% margins. And give them credit, their losses are shrinking despite the fact that revenue is shrinking. So there could be some hope there. Taxes, they won't have to worry about taxes for a while. For taxes, you need gains. It's good when your revenue goes down 55%, that's good. Down 55, down 26. Looks like the average price of the home they sell is around 300K, 400K. All right, cash flow. Okay, this is interesting. Where does the purchase of homes go on this? That kind of goes in COGS, it looks like. The cash flow statement's very misleading. So they capitalize. There's no place on the cash flow statement they put the house purchase. It has to be in there somewhere, right? It's in net loss. I want to see the 2023 balance sheet. This is a really good basic stock to look at if you want to like learn a little accounting and like you've been looking at some fugazi biotech companies your whole life and you want to understand how real business actually works. Like every now and then you should do that, even if you are a biotech guy. It's just good to connect with reality, touch grass sometimes. Okay, so net cash, and I'm including the houses in the net cash, dropped by 250. Net income was negative 430. No, I haven't been spending too much time on PubMed. It's so boring. I went to a school with a very good accounting program, so I took like 8 accounting classes. If accounting is boring to you, business is boring to you. Accounting is the literal language of business. That's how I know you're gonna fail. And I hope you fail, I really do. Hope everything you touch goes to 0. Because you deserve to fail. You were born a loser, you'll always be a loser. That's how I feel. Can't change how I feel. I'm scared of debating with AI. My girl made the AI you're talking about. We're not scared of AI. We like AI in this house. If you're not allowed to be here if you're below the age of 18, please leave. Gain on deconsolidation. Nice. I'll just throw that in under. Open the link, debate with it. What link? What are you talking about? I think you sent a link, but I don't think you realize that you cannot send links. I'm in the middle of doing open, but I'll do that in a second. It'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun, actually. So stay tuned for that. After this, we'll do ATYR debate with AI. Proceeds from investments. I don't think some of you realize just how good I am at biotech investing. I think some of you are confused that like maybe you think you can do it. The answer is no, you cannot. It's not for kids, man. It's not for play. You have to have a big brain for this, man. You can't just look at a biotech stock and be like, "Grr, I like it." Grr. That's not gonna work out well for you, man. This channel has seen years of idiots come through being like, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. We're just like, oh man, it's a train wreck every time. And I admit it's funny, but I don't understand what you say when you say outsource accounting. That's, if you're running a business, you can outsource your accounting. Preparing financial statements for certain purposes, it really depends on what you're talking about. You're not really being clear. When you ask me a question, you got one chance to ask it. Better be clear when you ask it. Okay, so I guess it's in this non-recourse asset-backed debt. In some ways, that is the other place the money leaves. Great. Okay, so yeah, I don't see how Opendoor could possibly be redeeming in any way, shape, or form. Does anybody have any ideas? Let me check something. Have they ever been profitable? Have they ever had free cash flow? Yeah, but I don't know that they ever made money, James. Who's Eric Jackson? Eric Jackson? Who? Are we worrying about a company that's never ever made money? It's one thing if they're going to return to like some old state where they were making money. Never heard of them. I never heard of you. This is a Hall of Shame company, man. What is the probability of success of ATOIR's 𝗵𝗂𝗏𝗏 in its upcoming sarcoidosis phase 3 clinical trial? I'm asking you what you think, not what others think. Short answer, 45%. Okay. Let's debate. I think the probability is 0%. Here's why. There is no mechanism of action. The drug was not rationally designed to target any specific protein. They found the mechanism of action later. They found it to bind 𝗍𝗏𝗏, an inner protein that has nothing to do with sarcoidosis. Sarcoid has never had a successful clinical trial against placebo by a novel agent. The only data supporting this drug, phase 2, was its N=37 chest publication. The problem with the chest publication is that the results were not correctly displayed. For example, on clinicaltrials.gov, the results showed that placebo outperformed all 3 drug dose arms with respect to the endpoint, the pre-specified endpoint, percentage of patients who achieved 5 milligram prednisone taper. All in all, there is no mechanism or supporting clinical data to suggest there is any chance the drug works in a large, well-randomized, controlled study. That's my thesis. Now I want you to defend why you think 45% is possible. That is way too large in my opinion. Every day I'm hustling. There are drugs that have a 0% probability of success. This is one of them. Let's go piece by piece. What part of NRP2 is relevant to sarcoidosis? You know that NRP2 has no intracellular signaling domain. There is no evidence, legitimate evidence, that 𝗵𝗂 modulates macrophages. TNF-alpha inhibitors, IL-6 inhibitors, etc. have all failed in sarcoidosis. There's no co-crystal of 𝗵𝗂 and 𝗍𝗓𝗏𝗏2. I'm not even sure it binds at all, since it was designed to just be recombinant Rs and then was found in a contrived assay to bind to 𝗍𝗓𝗏2 weakly. I don't know if Abivax is holding the call right now. I mean, Chatgpt is digging in on that percentage, but I do think it'd be interesting. It's fascinating. Its information seems up to date, which is great. I mean, I don't really think about what like one buyer will pay or like whatever. Like, I think I used to spend more time like thinking about like, okay, what's the like rationale with synergies and all this stuff. But like at the end of the day, you can build a successful company by yourself. You don't need to have the the synergies coming from an M&A partner. It doesn't hurt, but just look what Salgene did.
Well, Celgene did have a strange ending, so they could never get past the Revlimid ceiling. So maybe it sort of tells you like there is a limit when you have a hit product as to how far you can go. I mean, shoot, Revlimid, you know, I mean, it was, you know, $80 billion or $60 billion ceiling at some point, but, you know, no IP makes that a little more challenging. And they already beat the IP kind of, Grim Reaper kind of once already with Revlimid. So, but Revlimid's a really good historical biotech to study. Yeah, my computer, our internet's down, so we have Verizon coming in tomorrow. Our internet's not down, it's just very slow. And they're upgrading our speed and we're changing our router, so hopefully that helps. Yeah, I'm getting quantum internet. Hey, Verizon, throw some quantum on that. Yeah, something like Okto, I would go long. Like we did that with SBET, that worked. Just like a glitch in the market, you know? I might have to do this meeting real quick. Devs, can we make it so that you have to click Black Lives Matter or you have to pay more money? That's easy, right? I'm gonna speak to the man in charge.
Either you click Black Lives Matter or you pay $50 extra. That's just a if then, right? Right? It's pretty simple.
Ship it. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I mean, I really think that it's kind of disgusting how these papers, like chest, if I cared, which I don't, you know, the chest people should really be ashamed of themselves. I mean, I think 𝗙𝗪𝗃𝗀𝗃, does 𝗙𝗪𝗃𝗃 have something to say on this? I think he might. 𝗙𝗪𝗃𝗃, holler at these people. 𝗙𝗪𝗃, what do you got to say about chest?
Real talk, you gotta be ashamed of yourself. How old is you is?
Listen to that again.
Real talk, you gotta be ashamed of yourself. How old is you is?
How old is you is? It's a good question. How old is you is? You. I'm short and I have puts. That's the Texas hedge. Short calls if I could. Yeah, pretty much all in. I mean, I haven't seen something this bad in a long time. This is cassava. It's kind of, in some ways, it's kind of worse than cassava, to be honest. Cassava was a harder trade because they're fraudsters. You know, you never know what a fraudster's gonna do. This is kind of just sad. I bought a bunch of the puts, pretty much all of them. Listen, when you know you're right, you know you're right. Pumps into the data. Homie, the data. The pump is done. I'd really love to get all my thoughts on paper. Anthony did a great job, obviously, with his. I think, you know, there's just so many things people are missing. Yeah, September puts. I think the September puts are attractive at this price. When I bought them last week, they were less attractive. I'm a mama twin. I'm a mama.